Hi there. Welcome back to the Incline. I'm your host, Crystal, and I am here at Crown Jewel Scentiments at the New Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, Georgia, with owner Bonnie, her daughter, Jewel, in the name, right?
Yes.
And one of her really good friends, Vivian. Bonnie, tell the viewers on the Incline, how did this company start and what is it all about?
Well, originally we started late 2017. I tried other business ventures. Had developed, Vivian and I and a group of people had developed a huge business plan for the Lithonia area. Funding just couldn't come through. So I decided there was something else that I needed to do. I needed to go ahead and venture out on my own and figure out what it was I wanted to do. My daughter, Jewel, here was in college at the time. We needed to make some extra money. I was trying to figure out how to accomplish something so that I wouldn't be working a full-time job forever. So I was watching YouTube one day and I saw somebody making candles and I'm like, I've been creative all my life. I was a seamstress for years,
Right.
Fashion design, merchandising,
Everything.
So the creative side is just in me. So I said I could do that all day long and probably do it better. So I decided we were going to make candles, we being me. But, so I started doing research for a couple of months. I waited before I told my bestie here, Vivian, because I wanted to make sure it was something that was going to stick and that I really enjoyed. And so that's how Crown Jewel Sentiments began. And then from there, it just flourished into so many other items.
I was going to say, because you mentioned candles.
That was the beginning. That was the root, as we say. That's where it started. But from there, I said, well, I feel like I could do skincare.
Okay.
Started studying cosmetic chemistry, putting products together, and it's just been a whirlwind.
So you really got serious about it. And that's what we want to talk about on the Incline is to motivate businesses or business-minded people to know when you pick a subject matter, right? You say, I want to be the best in that field because you said, I can do that and do what? Do it better.
Yeah. Right.
And so chemistry, was that your background? Was that easy to jump in? Tell me more about that.
It was easy because it was something I was interested in.
Oh.
So
gotta be interested.
Right. Anytime I'm interested in something, I just take it like a bulldog and just sink my teeth into it. So I've always been able to do a lot of things at one time. So this allowed me that opportunity. I just remember years ago, my husband would always tell me, you just all over the place. Probably true.
Creatives are like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing. So I don't take it as always a bad thing, but it's kind of getting it organized and getting your thoughts in the right organization. So I started thinking of all these products, was one place that we always go like twice a year when they have those specials, and I said, I could do all this too and do it better.
So Jewel, how did you jump into the business with your mom? I mean, your name is all over the brand. She's like, were you thrust into the business by mom?
I think it just kind of happened because stuff was always all over the house. And I think, like when she first started, we would go out and do craft shows. And for me, it was just like, I could just go out the house or go help her, But opening the store, like we've all had to be a lot more involved because it's a lot more that goes into like actually running a physical like storefront.
So talk to the viewers of the Incline about what you just said, because that's very important. That's very key.
So yeah, like having a storefront, I mean, one, like you got to pay rent. So you got to have your stuff together to make sure that you're getting rent every month. I think a lot of the times we think like you just have to make the stuff to put in the store, but it's a lot more that goes into it. You have to do inventory. You have to make sure your inventory is accurate. You got to make sure the store is clean. You have to make sure you know about the products. You have to make sure that when you're low on inventory, and not just like inventory that's in the store, like the ingredients to make the inventory. You have to know when you're low on those things so that you can order the stuff before you're low and somebody's asking for it. So it's really 1,000,001 steps, and like the store is like the last step.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Right. I tell people the show is the last thing, right? When you buy a ticket and you go watch and, you know, you're looking for some good entertainment.
That's right.
That is the last step.
Yeah. Yeah.
And pretty much the easiest step, right?
Yes. That's
out of the entire process, I would say the show would be the easiest part. So I'm glad you said that. How old are you, Jewel?
25.
She's like, I think. Yeah. And so young entrepreneur with your mom, you know, and understanding all of those steps and how important those steps are to get them right is a big deal. You know, Vivian, how did you come into this business model at Crown Jewel Scentiments?
Well, it started, like Bonnie said, we had worked on some ventures before. And so one day I get this call from her and she tells me that she's been working on candles for about a month. And she says, I got it. And I want to start a candle company. And she says, I'd love for you to come along. You've been with me for all these years. And this is something I'd like for us to do. And so she said, so are you interested? And my answer was, well, Bonnie, every Oprah needs a Gail. Even though I help with the labeling and with the products, it's just like you had mentioned before, you get prepared for a show. So you have to take care of the back end leading up to that. So I feel like I'm placed here in the store to help manage it. And I interface. I'm the customer interface. So I feel like that's where I perform the best. This is my stage.
Right. Yes. Vivian and I have had discussions about having good store clerks, right? People who really understand customers, who care about customers. I mean, you're a Jewel to be here, right?
Oh, absolutely.
As a part of the business model and caring about the business model like the business owners care.
Exactly.
Which is a unique space to be in.
And one thing I would say with Vivian, like Vivian will call me every day she's up here and we'll talk about a client that has come in the store or somebody that's coming to pick up something or somebody had a special order they wanted to have.
She's excited. She's excited.
And that's what keeps me going. It's just hearing, and if you guys look at Instagram, we'll give our Instagram page in. But you'll see all the great testimonials that we have on several products that are in the store. And so every time I hear from Vivian, that kind of gives me even more motivation because to help everybody, the audience out there understand everything that is in a bottle in here or in a jar is made by hand.
Handmade. So let's talk about some handmade items. I see you have
so we make various types of soaps. That's actually a new one that we're going to be putting on the shelf. The fragrance in it is amber and oud. Has more of a masculine fragrance to it. And because of the fragrance, the soap turns brown in this particular situation. So we have several other types of soaps, but
so what's the process? What's the process?
So just in terms of making soap. So it's a process of knowing what goes into the soap. Okay. So you have to start with that. Then there's apps that you use to key in ingredients into that app, which tells you what levels of, I don't want to use big words, but I only know big words. So
how much of each
ingredient that you need, right? Because making soap is a chemical process. And it's called saponification. So there's a lot of products or different products, ingredients that we put in our soap. One is silk fibers. And so I should be calling it silk soap. So anyway.
Just came up with a new name on the Incline. You heard it here first.
There you go. So with this soap, it leaves your skin really feeling good, and creamy, smooth. I had one of my sons, when I first started making soap, he would always talk about how his skin would itch when he got out the shower. And he's like, Mama, my skin doesn't itch anymore. So it's like once, you know, and I give everybody in the family, friends, products to try out. They're the guinea pigs.
Right, absolutely.
We don't use them on animals, but we do use them on
people.
Right. So and
family and friends is the best test. They're the best test subjects, really.
So, so it's a deeper process than that, but that's just the overview of it. Get ideas from wherever. You can get ideas from anybody. I get ideas from baby girl, my little baby granddaughter, her daughter.
Yes.
So they come from everywhere, especially when you're a creative person. YouTube University is definitely my friend. I see a lot of things there. Then we get clients that come in and they ask for certain things. Yeah. So that kind of helps build our store also. Because we were at a craft show we used to do a craft show in Tennessee.
Chattanooga,
Tennessee. It was an outdoor market. So that's kind of like where we got our start.
So you kind of started out there at the pop-ups.
Yeah, at the pop-ups. We would do pop-ups here locally, but Tennessee was the place we would go on the weekends. 2-hour drive. Okay. We fill that car up. I just can't believe we made it sometimes and made it back. It was difficult, but we did it, you know. And I lost my train of thought.
Well, I think I could.
Customer came and asked for
Yeah.
When we were,
you remember what it was?
In Chattanooga, I do know that once we got established, you had to work on the outside before you earned the spot.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's an interesting model.
So it didn't take long for us to get under the tent. Yeah. Right. And we went like every other weekend. And so the weekend that we missed, when we came the following weekend, it was nothing for customers to come up and say, where were you last week?
Right,
where
that's cool. Right. Yeah, I know what I was going to say.
There you go.
So I remember. Thank you.
Don't you love these ladies?
She knows me. So I was telling Vivian one time we were at that particular market that I really wanted more like an apothecary, a place where people could come and nobody would leave out of here without something. So we could service all people all the time, right? And so that's what this has become to Crown Jewel Scentiments. It's really more like an apothecary.
Their personalities make you want to come to the shop.
Right.
Jewel stands to the side. She's kind of like the balancer.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I need that. Yeah. But yeah, and there are so many more products that we look to bring. To the market.
And you guys have some exciting products. I mean, do you have like a top 3 or a top?
We do have top 3.
So what is
the Lux body oil and the turmeric face scrubs.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are just really doing it, and you're growing. What are you coming out with next?
Well, we just came out with, actually, I just brought it in the store today, a deodorizing odor eliminator room car spray. And of course, I've tried it out. We did it when we were at the Chattanooga market, and then it kind of took a back seat to some other things. So I decided I'm gonna bring that back into the store and kind of see, what the vibe is going to be for that. I do have some other face creams coming out. A vitamin E face cream that I'm working on. There's several other type of lotions and creams. So men, we got you.
We got you covered.
We got everybody on point. Right.
Have you noticed that more men have come into the shop looking for items for themselves, or the ladies in their lives are looking for that items?
I would say that Vivian.
Not
like that.
It's my personality.
What did you say? Like, hey, I see you kept walking by, like, come in. I didn't mean like pull them in. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Tell a one guy about his tattoo.
Well, now I have a new line.
Okay.
Especially.
You're feeding into what Jewel just said.
But that's whether it's a male or a female.
Okay.
Right? And when I look on the arms and if I see like a tattoo that's faded.
Okay.
I would say I could make your tattoo come alive. Are you interested? Come on in.
Look at the sales pitch. Look at,
and with the guys, they have the tattoo here. And I was like, I know summer is coming and you're going to be in that tank top when you want your tattoo to pop.
Yeah.
And they're like, I've had this for like 10, 12 years. Yeah. And I said, I can make it come alive. And they come in. And I said, always ask the customer, just allow me to give you an experience.
And we talked about that, right? We talked about the experience in the store.
Pressure, because I don't know what's in their wallet. But if they walk by and they're looking, they may be interested, but I think they may be thinking, I really don't want to buy anything. But I asked them to come in and allow me to just give them experience. You don't have to buy today. I just want to introduce you to our products at our price points.
Vivian, I've watched you even kind of be a therapist to people.
Yeah, and I was getting ready to say that's the next thing. The massage therapist, the therapist, therapist.
Right.
And normally when I apply it and they see that it's come live, they're amazed and they immediately buy it on the spot. So summer is coming.
That's right.
Make sure you get prepared.
So, Bonnie, Jewel was talking about, you know, the background business stuff. You know, how do you, as a mother, a business owner, and everything else, right? As women, we wear a lot of hats. How do you triumph over trials and
just
obstacles when it comes to this?
I don't know. My coping skills are a little different than the average person.
Okay.
All my life. I've had to learn how to cope with just a lot of things, be it negative or positive at one time. So, it's just kind of flowed over into this. And I will say I still work a full-time job. So the other side of that though is really having people around you. You know, before you ever get an audience, say like a social media following and all that, you got to have your peeps around
your village.
You know, yes,
you got to have your village. The Incline village.
There you go.
You got to have it.
That's right. Your support team, those that are going to egg you on, so to speak. You know, Vivian has always, you know, been one of those persons to always say, you know, really tell me how great I am.
Yes, you can.
You know,
you can do it.
Yeah, you can and keep it moving. So it's not easy. I'm not saying by any means it's easy. You know, we always know how to put on a smile, move forward. I love what I do. That's what it really comes down to. So it's a lot of sleepless nights. I get a little bit of sleep though. I don't have too many bags under mine, but, and a lot of studying. I mean, yeah, you see the end product, but again, it's a lot.
And I like
studying.
that part. You know, we want to definitely hone in on study. Research what you're selling, right? Know what you're talking about. You got, you know, Jewel mentioned you got to know the product. You can't just put it on the shelf and expect the customer, because sometimes customers will walk in and challenge you a little bit to see what you know,
and
right?
They do, and they have.
Yeah.
And so that's why, you know, studying and being able to transmit what that product is. Vivian picks up very quickly. A lot of that is because she was there making the labels, you know, so she saw the ingredients. We would talk about what this ingredient does, how it works, and there's balance in everything. I may have 2 or 3 different types of oils in here or oil products, but they each serve some different purpose depending on how they're formulated.
Bonnie, are you trying to leave a legacy?
Oh, you said it.
Oh,
so that was one.
I hear the passion.
And that was one of the other things. I did want to leave a legacy for my family. Something that most of us who are in our color range aren't able to do. So that's my prayer. I just stand on faith. I walk in faith. I'm getting back to that whole process of believing in faith and stepping out. Yeah. So definitely a legacy.
Because working hard just to be working hard.
No, that's not enough. Because I can stay on a job and continue to do that, you know. And I'm thankful for the job that I'm on now. I've been there for 12 years. It has helped me in this arena. When we talk about items like the bottles, I mean, we have dozens of different jars. And when I started doing research, you know, a lot of people would say, don't get too many, but because it's so much.
Right.
It's so much.
And I tell, you know, the viewers on the Incline, if you're working, and working is good, if you love your job, stay at your job, even if you're building your business, and learn from the job, right? Don't just take a job or just sit on a job for 5, 10, 20 years and you don't walk away with something you can use in your own business model, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And see, and that's just, we've talked more about the creative side. But when we talk about the business side, you know, we have to do taxes. We got to pay sales tax. Oh, Lord. I mean, there is just
nobody likes it.
There's so much that goes into it. You know, keeping up with all of your transactions and what bucket they go into and how that flows. It's a lot. So I'm thankful that I was able to learn that on my job. So now it can transfer.
And Bonnie, you and I even talked about teaching the younger generations, right? On how to do these things, that it's not impossible to start now. That's teaching them accounting.
Right.
Bookkeeping, inventory, you know, how to run a business, all the things that Jewel talked about that are very important. You can start very young teaching them. That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Just like with my granddaughter, a lot of times she'll come into the lab and I'm like, girl, put that down, stop. And then it's like, no, I need to encourage her.
Give her a little table.
Right. We haven't gotten the table yet, but it's coming. Or like I'll give her a sample, like this is a sample. Or whatever. So I give it to her and say, smell, Luna. You know what? Where's it? Get it on camera. And she'll smell and she'll say, you know. So
and she'll walk around the house and
smell it too. So it's really nice. And she may be the legacy. We never know.
You don't.
We never know how it's going to turn out.
You have to sow the seed, right? And give them an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, ladies, I have really enjoyed this interview at Crown Jewel Sentiments. Like I mentioned, they are at the New Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, Georgia. You gotta come and check them out and buy up everything in the store. Okay. Thanks for being on the Incline. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you the next time.
Thank you.
Bye.